Quick brain teaser for you. What's the quickest, most surefire way to improve sales of any particular product? Find a way to connect it to another already very popular brand or name. The entertainment industry has known this for a very long time, and, some might argue, video gaming most of all. There are swathes of titles that involve movie, book and or TV tie-ins, all in the name of riding an already well-ridden wave, and earning that extra moolah for all involved. And for some titles that don't have a video game but probably should, check out this video, but only when we're finished here. So the next logical question is this: what's the quickest, most surefire way to improve sales of an already established product? Let LEGO have a go at it. I've got to be honest and say when LEGO made its first move into the virtual world in 1995, I paid very little attention. I had actual LEGO and, with the exception of renting 1999's LEGO Racers from Blockbusters, remember Blockbusters, I never felt the need to play virtually blockified games. I didn't even really notice in 2001 when they produced their first licensed property, LEGO Harry Potter. In fact, it wasn't until 2012 when I played LEGO Lord of the Rings that I sat up and took note. There is something charming about watching a plasticky reimagining of one of my favourite movie trilogies, and I have been charmed ever since. Now, at this point, I should say for disclosure that the LEGO Group owns the company with whom I do my non-video game reviewing day job. I am not paid by the LEGO Group, nor am I officially classed as LEGO Group employee, but I just thought it was worth mentioning for complete transparency if nothing else. And now that that's out of the way, releasing on the 12th of October 2022, tomorrow at time of publishing, LEGO Bricktales follows you as you help your grandfather keep his amusement park open after the mayor has threatened to reclaim his land for being an eyesore. To do this, you use a mysterious alien device which is powered by happiness crystals because, of course it is. You collect these literal bundles of joy by completing tasks, solving problems and otherwise making people happy. Using a portal, you travel to a number of diorama-like worlds and solve whatever puzzles you find. These can be as simple as organising a shelf to building working cranes and flying machines and everything in between. I will say now that this game felt very much like it was aimed, if not exclusively, but certainly predominantly, at younger people. The writing, while very witty and tongue-in-cheek in places, skews towards Saturday morning cartoons rather than The Simpsons or Family Guy, but it does still have enough self-awareness and depth that keep Bricktales from being inaccessible to adult LEGO fans. But it must also be said that this style works well with the colourful locales that you visit during your adventures. These are very nicely and intricately designed, and you do feel walking around them that you are playing with an actual LEGO set, which is certainly commendable. In fact, the whole game has a feeling of authenticity about it. I would not be surprised to find out that the levels had been built in the real world and then scanned into the virtual one. Such was the level of detail achieved by the developers. Actually, now is a good point to bring in the devs and publishers, since we haven't mentioned any specifics about the gameplay yet. The publishers are Thunderful, whose most notable title is probably Steam World Dig, a Metroidvanian-influenced mining game starring a robot called Rusty. Hold on to that. And the developers are Clockstone of Bridge Constructor fame. And it shows. The main gameplay mechanic is the building mode, in which you solve puzzles by building a scene or an object out of LEGO bricks. A common use of this feature is finding a way to get yourself across a chasm, which allows Clockstone to revert to type somewhat and present us with a number of physics-based bridge-building puzzles. These systems are well implemented, but the one complaint I do have is that usually to build a bridge out of actual LEGO you need only strengthen your pieces from the bottom, whereas the LEGO pieces in this game fall foul of gravity unless they are reinforced both above and below. Although it is fun watching your robot companion, called, wait for it, Rusty a la Steam World Dig, fall over and flail helplessly as your plastic creations fall apart. Rusty is very much your voice in the world of this game. Considering you are playing a LEGO minifigure, it's probably not a massive surprise to find yourself as the ubiquitous silent protagonist, but when other minifigures start talking to you it loses a little bit of its weight. I feel like relying so heavily on Rusty for exposition and moving the plot forward hurts the game, as while this is not an RPG and you don't need any choice-based dialogue systems, your character could easily say half the stuff that Rusty does and not change the direction or feel of the game at all. But that is, if I'm being honest, a bit of a nitpick. Overall, this is a pretty fun, pretty solid and pretty well made game. The music and soundscapes are pleasant and the puzzles and level design are well implemented throughout. That's not to say it's a great game. For a start, it's built with the philosophy of finish storyline, unlock all abilities, go back and find all the secrets until every level reads 100% or die trying, which is fine if you care enough about the hidden treasures and secret levels to make it worth revisiting them. And for me, that's a firm no. Not that I greatly disliked any of the levels, but I'm not 100% by anyone's standards, and I don't like the idea that bits of levels are arbitrarily locked off just so I have to come back 6 or 7 hours later and reach a chest containing a slightly better looking costume. And some levels really felt padded. In the desert level, for example, it all built nicely to a climactic quest involving a mummy and some catnip. No, I wish I was making that up. And then, when you'd finish what felt like a natural final quest, you had to spend another 10 to 15 minutes faffing around doing one last task that ultimately could have happened earlier. They try and cover it with story, but even with that, there is enough of me that feels the game was inorganically padded to add to the playtime, rather than because the story genuinely needed me to build a bridge for literal construction workers who I assume couldn't be asked to do their actual job. I know, it's a game about blocks where you collect happiness crystals to power a very literal alien deus ex machina, but I just feel that there is an inordinate amount of added guff which simply slows the game down rather than adds to the overall experience. Another example of similar stuff employed by the game is how at the end of every level you are asked by your grandpa to help him design some small part of the theme park. No, not the rides, that would be far too open to artistic interpretation. Instead, we are trusted with designing the bits people sit in with a very prescribed number and style of bricks afforded to us, which feels anticlimactic to say the least. And it puts this game in the opposition of being the love child of Bridge Constructor and Roller Coaster Tycoon. But overall, I must come back to my most important metric. Was the game fun to play? And despite my natural inability to play puzzle games, I have to say, yeah, it was. The puzzles are frustrating, the quests are contrived busy work, but the overall design and feel of the game probably do make up for it. It's certainly not LEGO's greatest offering, but Bricktales is by no means a bad game, and plenty of fun can be had with it by fans of all ages. 6 out of 10. I've been Chris for Invicta magazine, and thank you for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, please do give this video a like and a share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep up with all our latest content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, plus we stream regularly on Twitch, and you can find all those links in the description below along with our website. See you next time. Goodbye for now.